Hello everyone, Jacob here. An ARG, or alternate reality game for short, is essentially an interactive story that takes place in another world. The story is usually progressed through the completion of puzzles. Some ARGs are just made by everyday people for fun, and others are made by large companies to promote an upcoming product. In my opinion, ARGs are so fun to watch unfold. Some popular ARGs include Cicada 3301, The Sun Vanished, and Local 58. I loved watching people review these ARGs, they were so fun. I used to be pretty active in the ARG community, mainly the r/ARG subreddit. I remember being on that quite frequently. In fact, I even helped out with some smaller scale ARGs, none of which were popular or good in any way. They were all edgy, where they just, had some dark profile picture and some quote dark story, and they were just super generic. They all sort of mesh together when they're that generic. Just throw in some binary text and you have yourself an awful ARG. A few years ago, I decided to make my own ARG. No help, myself, my ARG. This was probably the worst thing I've done on the internet. It was a few years back now. There were some things I made, some decisions I made that came back to haunt me years later because of some poor decisions when making the ARG. All of these issues can be avoided if you know what to do when making yours. I've created a lot of stupid things on the internet before. I made those awful Minecraft parodies.
Hey, I just spawned you, and this is crazy. A diamond, maybe.
Then there was my first ever short film, which was basically just a top 10 inventions in the past 100 years. It wasn't good, it was super generic as well. Today, I will be showing you the by far stupidest thing I've made online. Today, I will be showing you HEX, my first and last ARG. Stupid power outage. I have a backup light somewhere, let me try to find it. Ow. There we go. So, 484558 HEX was my first ARG. From now on, I'm just gonna say HEX for brevity. While my first puzzle came out on February 15th, 2019, the HEX Reddit user account that posted these puzzles was created all the way back in September of 2018. That means I had over 4 months to prepare my first puzzle. So, with 4 months of time, was the ARG any good? No, it sucked. It was awful. So let's go through this first puzzle as if we're a player of the ARG, not the creator. Let's start with the original Reddit post, posted on r/ARG, February 15th, 2019. It reads, "Hello, the task presently stands. Please actively search to enter the best internet nexus." First of all, I think this deserves an award for most incoherent sentence of all time. I think I had a stroke while reading this. That was the worst thing ever. Second of all, I think it's obvious that what I'm trying to do is spell out HTTPS pastebin, and then this little .com/whatever that is added on top to get your first hint or clue. So the message on pastebin isn't really important. All you need to know is that I was trying to hype it up and say that it was a really super advanced ARG when in reality it wasn't. And the password will be used for another website in the future, so we have to write that down. Oh yeah, that part that says the winner will receive an Amazon gift card, that was just a lie. I just didn't do that. Yeah, a lot of this ARG is based on lies and unfulfilled promises, so just be on the lookout for that. So, going back to the Reddit post, you can see that little hyperlink, the blue text. Once you click that, you're taken to this Google form. That is where we enter the We Are HEX password. Another stupid move I had made while making this ARG, which is apparent now, is I required users to enter their email addresses. Now, collecting email addresses is a little shady. I don't remember why I did, because it's not like the ARG needed your email for something, yet I got a lot of emails. Luckily, someone apparently flagged my post as inappropriate, because when I tried filling it out a few days ago, this is what showed up. So, I mean, props to whoever flagged that post, I guess. Let's take a look at the responses. So it appears that 35 people got the correct We Are HEX password from pastebin. Shout out to that one person who wrote Mario Party DS in the password form. That is... Why would that be the password? I never talked about Mario Party DS at all. So, once you enter the We Are HEX password and your email, you are taken to this text document, which basically tells you that everything you've been doing is useless and you have to go back to the original Reddit post. See, a lot of this is just circling around and not making any progress whatsoever, so I don't know why I did half of it. Anyway, now that we're back at the Reddit post, using this trusty link identifier website, thank you for making that, we can determine what this final string of characters at the bottom of the post connects to. Turns out it connects to an imager link. We're led to this image. If we brighten up the image, we can see these little hexadecimal characters, and using an online hexadecimal to text converter, we can see that it says nice try. So, that was the end of the first puzzle, and it was okay. It wasn't good by any means, because it was more of an introduction than an actual ARG, but it wasn't really that bad. So, what did I do right when making this first puzzle? Honestly, not much, but I did manage to make a somewhat cohesive puzzle. I got a decent following from making this ARG, the first puzzle at least, and I had fun. Now what went wrong? I offered an Amazon gift card, that promise never got fulfilled. I collected email addresses for no discernible reason that mattered to me or anyone else. And basically the first puzzle had nothing to do with the overall plot that I haven't even made at this point. It was just a bunch of puzzles with no cohesiveness whatsoever. So, right after Puzzle 1 was released, I began working on Puzzle 2. And right now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, hey Jacob, how did you manage to get the time to do all this stuff? Like, didn't you have priorities, friends, or even a life whatsoever? No, the answer to all of those is no. I didn't, because I was on Reddit all day. What do you think? Do you think I had a life? This ARG was something I spent hours of work on. And that's not a lot of time, but it's more than some. And we can end up seeing where that effort went, especially in Puzzle 2. Released on February 22nd, 2019, which we shall begin to read starting now. Message from HEX. Hello, we have returned to give you your second puzzle. And this time, we promise you that this puzzle will not be completed by anyone in 24 hours. This puzzle is greatly increased in difficulty. Unlike the last puzzle, which required little team effort, this puzzle will require all of you to think together as a team. Also, whoever does complete it first, explain how easy or hard it was. Good luck and may the best man win. The second puzzle begins here. Wow, I was cringy, So, the link takes us to this YouTube video. Which basically has a bunch of flashing colors on screen, and the audio is comprised of Morse code. So fun fact, I'm dense, and when I made the second puzzle, I didn't make sure to check that it worked, and got you to where you needed to go. So many Reddit users were having difficulties trying to proceed, and it wasn't because the puzzle's hard, it was because it was made incompetently. The video that you guys were watching earlier with the flashing colors and Morse code was rendered using Adobe Premiere Pro, and for those who don't know, Premiere Pro sometimes has issues with rendering and sometimes makes things that are odd and weird. It just has some artifacting, sometimes it's weird. So, when I made my video, it shifted the colors off so subtly that to, any normal video like this one, it wouldn't matter. But when you need those exact values in order to proceed, it made things almost impossible for the Reddit users. So the colors on that video translate into hex characters, which translate into text, which takes you to the next link. So I tried documenting these hex colors for this video, and I came back with this mess of characters. So I basically ruined my own ARG by making a terrible input method, and it got everyone nowhere. By the way, you may be wondering what the Morse code does. Well, it basically helped no one, because all it did was lead to this paste bin, which is basically just hex propaganda. And, wow, so cool, but it really helps no one in figuring out the puzzles or helping with the actual plot. So we can just count the Morse code out. Now let me introduce you to two notable Reddit users. Fred Hewitt and Caesarean Shift is Fun. Caesarean Shift is Fun, I'm just gonna call him Caesar, is a Reddit user who participated in both of the puzzles, Puzzle 1 and Puzzle 2. Fred participated as well, but we'll know why they're connected and their significance shortly. But let's continue with Puzzle 2 for now. So basically we're stuck because we don't know where the colors go, and they're supposed to lead to some image of some sort, but no one knows how to get there. So, I used the HEX account to drop a subtle hint on what the link was, because people are getting close, it's just they weren't close enough. So the image link is what you see now. Basically what we need to know here is that apparently the dude from HEX worked with public relations and his name was Tony. Anyways, the description says the next hint is back to the original YouTube video. Turns out, grab that string of text, subtract the last 3 letters, and you can get a paste bin. Here's the paste bin. It's basically just more cringy story element segments. This little bottom string of text down here, using our handy link identifier, can take us to this other video. Oh nice, another video, that might be fun. 8 minutes long. 8 minutes long. And it's not even good footage, it's so sloppy and messy, it's not even a cool video. If you're gonna make something 8 minutes long is not that bad. when it's just the sloppiest footage you've ever seen, it gets kind of sickening. I actually recorded that video using an Alcatel flip phone, which has a camera built in. It's okay, but it's still kind of messy. I purposely made it lower quality, that way it looked like a 2006 camcorder with a headache. Going back to the video, it eventually shows us this text document, which has an Amazon gift card code, and you can see there are more hexadecimal characters in the title. That actually translates to Amazon gift card. Around the 6-minute mark, the video fades to black. We see this Google Drive link, a bunch of I'm scared messages, this weird Reddit thing, and Morse code printed out. The Google Drive link actually leads to an image of screws. More specifically, hex screws. It's either hex screws, do you get it? Like hex the ARG, hex ARG, hex screws, do you get the correlation? If we brighten the image, we can see this message. Oh yeah, there's this tool called Outguess. Basically, the I'm scared video shows me typing the word outguess, but in reality, that's just fake. So, let's go to the next message. The u/Tony from Hex account is basically useless. It has this funny calendar that says I'm scared April 5th. That's about it. So, this is where we reach the end of puzzle 2, and it's a bit strange. The Morse code at the end translates to, you need to message the account, Tony from Hex, with the ominous message, I'm scared. The first person to send me this message is none other than Caesar himself. I mean, not the original Caesar, Caesar, like the Reddit user we talked about earlier. Do you remember him? That guy. So, he invited me to this group chat, which is actually quite interesting to read. We can see several people, including Fred, solving the puzzle piece by piece, bit by bit, and it's just funny to see them discovering these individual pieces. Also, they solved the entire puzzle within 16 hours, when I explicitly said it wouldn't be able to be solved within 24 hours. So, I actually got feedback from them about the puzzle and future ones. They said the difficulty was 5 out of 10, which I think is pretty gracious considering the puzzles sucked. Also, notice how the original Reddit post has that solve piece at the top? Well, that's because Caesar told me, hey, you should probably add that. So, that just shows how what the Reddit users say almost determined how the puzzle would unfold and what my actions were. Mainly because I didn't have any direction whatsoever. So, that was the end of Puzzle 2, and honestly, it seemed like Puzzle 3, the thing I was working on kind of from the start, was gonna be a big success. I mean, the video for Puzzle 2 got hundreds of views, and the community just seemed actually kind of excited. In fact, Caesar said he was gonna make a video about Hex ARG, which kinda hyped me up. He never did in the end, but hey, it boosted my tiny ego at the time, so there's that. At this point, I was famous. I couldn't deal with all the fame while I was producing Puzzle 3. Those 8 upvotes changed my life. So crazy. I even made this little advertisement for Puzzle 3. We'll watch it together. Headphone users, you have 3 seconds to turn down your volume because it has a bunch of stupid effects. 3, 2, 1.
Jagar Gaming presents an original ARG, Hex ARG, Puzzle 3. Hex will return on April 5th, 2019. Good luck.
So, Puzzle 3, the thing that I was hyped to make, and it seemed like people were hyped to play. So, how many people participated in Puzzle 3 all the way to the end? 1 person. 1 person participated in my ARG all the way till the end. 1 person! Remember Caesar, Fred, all those guys who helped solve Puzzle 2? They just disappeared. They were all gone. 3 people participated in the overall ARG, but only 1 guy made it till the end. I think the reason Puzzle 3 didn't do so well was because of the timing. Puzzles 1 and 2 came out within a week of each other. And then Puzzle 3 came out like a month and a half later. And by the way, you may think, oh, you had a month and a half to prepare for this final puzzle that people seem to care about. You said it boosted your ego, so I'm guessing you took your time to make sure this was the best it could be. No, what happened was, I just stalled for the whole month, didn't do it, then for the last week, when it was about to launch, I just quickly rushed it together. When I made the advertisement, that came out on March 9th, by the way, there was no Puzzle 3 at all. I was just like, hey guys, I'm probably gonna do this because I don't have priorities, so it's gonna be out there. No, I didn't do anything until a week before it launched. Puzzle 3 doesn't even have that much cryptography like Puzzles 1 and 2. It was pretty much all lore related, so anyone who hadn't played the first 2 wouldn't know what's going on. I know you guys are bored, and I probably wasted all my time explaining Puzzles 1 and 2, so we're gonna rush Puzzle 3 together. We're not even gonna talk about the way how you get here to there like I did for Puzzles 1 and 2, because it's really not that important for this one. All you need to know is this Terms of Service document, these hex logs, and this like 3-piece image. Let's start off with those text logs I was talking about. So on the initial Reddit post, if you click on this little link, it takes you to this Google Doc. This Google Doc introduces us to a new character, Charlotte. Honestly, this conversation looks like it was written by someone in elementary school. It's so poor. Like, what on earth? Honestly, these logs are so trash. But what I find important is it links us to this other Google document, which contains HEX's terms of service for employees. This is meant to look like a legal document for those who work at my fake company HEX and the ARG, but what it really looks like is a 13-year-old trying to pose as someone who could write legal documents without ever reading one at all. And that's exactly what it is. If you're going to attempt to write some competent law document, something like that, you should probably read some other ones just to get a feel on what the language and style sounds like, but I didn't do that. I just thought, okay, what does it sound like? I didn't even read anything that would help me in that direction. Instead, I just guessed what legal documents would look like and sound like, and that makes it look very amateur. So apparently, this Tony guy works for HEX, he gets paid a lot, and I guess he's gonna get killed if he says something about them bad. The terms of service just say terminated. That could mean he gets fired, could mean he gets killed. I mean, quite frankly, we don't know. And fun fact, ARG makers, making things vague does not make them good or scary. It just makes them look dumb. It's so obvious this story was written by a literal fetus. I'm not even gonna show the rest. It was so cringy. It's not good. There's this resume. You can look at that. Apparently his last name is Timeo. We can see this pastebin document. I was trying to spell his last name, so I did this thing where some messages were in all caps, but then I added this weird thing where it's spelling soup in all caps and the O is missing, so it spells Timeo. What was I thinking? So, we've established that this ARG's trash, right? Like, it's poor, it doesn't make any sense. Fun fact, guys, people started confronting me on those Amazon gift cards I promised. There was the winner of the first puzzle who's like, hey, where's the Amazon gift card? Take a guess on how much I gave him, because I was like, oh, I gotta get this guy some money. It's been a solid year for him and his friend, apparently, as a friend who wants some money as well, so how much did I give them to split? $5. $5 US. For 2 people. So basically, I gave this guy some money. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good amount of money, but it worked. It got it off my chest, and I felt like I accomplished something. But then I forgot, oh yeah, I kept lying to people. So the winner of Puzzle 3 also harassed me, and this guy, I have not paid back yet. He sent me like 20 messages, each every month, saying, hey, where's the money? And I'm just complete radio silence. I basically didn't have money. I was just offering money that I didn't have to get people's attention. When you're only getting people's attention for money, fun fact, they only care about it for the money. So if you don't give them the only thing they were interested for, that's not gonna go over well, is it? You're gonna leave with a bad reputation, something he didn't enjoy because he didn't get what he wanted. So that was HEX ARG, the stupidest thing I've done online. Worse than those Minecraft music videos, worse than the short film, so dumb. I gained nothing from that, besides pure hatred, and I guess the knowledge that don't offer people money if you don't plan on paying them. That's probably a good rule of thumb for all of you guys. If you didn't know that, don't offer people money unless you plan on giving them money. I'm done making ARGs. I'm not really interested in that stuff anymore. I mean, it's still interesting nonetheless, and I don't mean to stop any of you from making your own ARG. If you want to do that, do it. That would be so cool. Please learn from me. Please learn from my stupid mistakes. Make a coherent plot. Actually do it for the sake of wanting to do it and not just offering people money and wanting attention. Just, actually do it for the ARG purpose and wanting to tell a story. Anyways, that's the video. HEX was just a silly thing I did a few years ago, and I wanted to talk about it today just because I thought it would be fun to review. I mean, it was way cringier than I remember, but still fun to talk about. Anyways, that's all for now. Bye, and see ya! Hello, fetus.